Hi, this is Bill Riley, Riley Private Client. Kind of thought I'd do a quick little talk here as we wrap up this year and we enter the Christmas season this weekend. This has been, if you look back, this has been really an unusual year to manage money. We've had all kinds of things happen. We've had rebound, which has been historic. The S&P is up considerably. And if you were positioned right, you participated. If you had the lower risk factor, you still made a pretty good return on your investments based on your risk. But here's some thoughts I've had looking back over the year and also kind of reflecting on the effects of 2020. The pandemic really hasn't left us. Everybody has this feeling, well, it's almost over. Things are going to, now we're coming out of it. But it seems like just about the time we think that things are coming to an end, the virus kind of reels its ugly head and comes back. I know personally my grandson came down with it, and we believe he does have the new one called Omicron or whatever they call it. And even though he's had all of his shots. So this is still a trying time, and it's putting a lot of, I would call, concerns with investors, because just about the time they think, things are going well, then we have this crop up again, and it throws kind of a pall of depressed feelings about holidays, what's going on and what's not going on. So here's what I want to kind of touch on, and then we'll go forward. The Fed met last week, and now that Powell got reelected, he can kind of get out and say what he wants to say. I still think that interest rates should probably go up here. They are historically low and a little unhealthy. But now that we had this new virus get loose and it's spreading very, very fast, I've noticed some of the commentary has kind of slowed down, because there's still what I call a lot of unknowns out there on how to invest money, where to invest money, and what's really going to happen. I think interest rates will probably start sometime around March. If this virus gets worse, then they could postpone that. But I think the bond buying, or what they call the tapering of supporting mortgages, needs to come to an end. There's no reason to support the housing market with buying mortgages. And I think that will come quicker than we see interest rates going up. But this Powell pivot, I call it, of changing from I'm going to be very accommodative to we may have to put some constraints because of inflation, is typical of Fed governors. Every Fed governor goes through this, because it's even hard for them to, what I call the shots, because we really don't know. He's dealing with as many unknowns as any Fed president that I've had my experience. So what do we do now? I think it's time for us to really go back to investing in companies with very strong cash flows that are going to be part of the infrastructure if we ever get that off the ground. I think that we're going to see good, high-quality companies do well next year, and the ones that aren't will suffer. For example, if you look at some of the stay-at-home stocks, how they have come down considerably, some of them much as 30-40% from their highs, because as soon as everybody got out and about, returning to their offices, going out shopping and everything, for some reason decided we didn't need to do Zoom meetings anymore. However, Zoom is part of our lifestyle. You're seeing this. We're still continuing to do Zoom meetings. When you're investing, the thing to look at is the true cash flow of the companies, and if they're profitable, and do they really fit in this changing world we have? Because you can get caught up in what I call the euphoria of, I got to have this, I got to have that, that's the new thing, and all of a sudden you see your portfolios deteriorate. Another thing I wanted to say is this. We need to start looking at fixed income again. And here's the reason why. Historically, fixed income, when you come off of a years like we've had here, makes a comeback. Now, I'm not talking about treasury bonds or anything like that. What I'm talking about is maybe some high yield, maybe some good corporates, those types of things. Because if we're going to invest going forward this next year, we need to pay close attention to the risk in these portfolios. And you need to be able to take the lowest amount of risk you can to the amount of return that you expect to have or you need to have, because volatility is not over. As rates start to rise, you'll see volatility come back, because we as portfolio managers are adjusting our portfolios based on interest rates. And that can cause a lot of shifts, what I call shifts in the market. Dividend paying stocks will be good here. I think small caps will make a rebound here. But if you're looking at fixed income, a managed fixed income account can really help you in a lot of ways. First of all, it's kind of like a ballast on a ship. I mean, you have to have so much ballast to keep the ship afloat and keep it steady. That's why we're starting to introduce more fixed income, which we haven't for a while. To give you some statistics on that, and one of the ones that I really like that's a good manager is Kensington, and we're using them, is this. If we go back and look the year 2000, where the S&P, it was down almost 42%. Now, I remember it because, I actually went the other way and made money, but the maximum drawdown was 47%. But when we looked at the total return on fixed income, and that's fixed income across the board, that's everything from corporates to high yield to treasuries, you had a 25% total return. Because what happens is people flee to safety. I'm not saying we're going to have another 2000 next year, but I'm saying that expect more what I call normal corrections than we've seen. Realistically, we're only about 7.5% off the all-time high in the NASDAQ and about 6% off the all-time high in the S&P. That's a normal correction. But I think next year, as all this plays out, especially with the political scene, we could see 10, 15% corrections. A lot of the stocks that people were excited about, and I'm not going to name them, you can look them up, are down 30%, especially the bike. I'll just call it the bike that everybody had to have. There is a need for stability in your portfolios, and you can find that doing a managed income type portfolio. No, it's not going to, do the great returns that we've seen this year, but it sure does help stabilize the portfolio as we go through these trying times. Well, I'll close with that. I'll try to give you all some more updates as this year plays out. Yeah, it's been a really tough year to manage money, even though the portfolios are up, they're doing great, depending on the amount of risk you wanted to take. But it's been concerning to us that do this for a living, because every time we thought everything was kind of getting better, something else happened. It's everything from politics to mismanagement of money to, even this Bitcoin phenomenon. It seems like, one day when the market goes down, Bitcoin goes up. Now we're seeing it equalize. Bitcoin went down just as much as the market did over the last 4 or 5 days. I do want to say and refer you to my last video when I was talking about the Santa Claus rally. This one I may have called right. We actually are having a nice rally today, and this is the day, if it's going to happen, for the Santa Claus rally to start. And I'll have another update on that as we go forward. Well, thank you very much. If I don't talk to you, have a great Christmas. It's going to be another one of those stay in and stay protected for Christmas because of this new virus. So hopefully, maybe by this time next year, all this will be over. So have a Merry Christmas, enjoy your families, and I'm signing off. Bill Riley.